Tonight, we've hopefully brought to light the impact that films have made and can make on our lives as individuals and on society as a whole. And the Oscar goes to Parasite.
Hello and welcome back to A Method to the Madness, the podcast where we discuss, analyze, and otherwise ponder our favorite films and television. I'm your host, Patrick, and joining me, as always, is Mitchie.
Hello.
And today, we're doing something a little different. We are predicting what films are going to win certain categories at the Oscars. And so, Mitchie and I have watched a number of films. I think Mitchie's watched more than me because we've bet on this, and Mitchie takes bets very seriously.
Yeah, but not enough, though. Still.
Right, yeah, so, okay, first of all, let's say, what is the bet, Mitchie? What's at stake here?
Well, the two of us have always been, we from a young age, actually, we've been playing Xbox together, and we used to play a lot of Call of Duty Zombies, and recently we haven't been doing that, probably over the last, year or two, so we want to get back into it, and, what were we going to play? Yeah, that's it. The Black Ops Cold War Edition. We want to play that together because it's cross-platform, because I have a PC, and Patrick doesn't want to buy a PC, so we can play zombies together, but the problem is it costs like $100, so we're like, okay, well, why not bet on it, and then the loser has to buy the other one, the game, as well as themselves the game, which means they've got to fork out like $200, which is actually a pretty significant bet if you ask me.
Yeah.
Saying a slab of beer, this is like fucking 4 slabs of beer.
And I'm pretty fucking broke right now, so I really don't want to lose. All right. And,
shit.
What? And then, so we've picked 7 categories, is that right? Or 8?
8.
We've picked 8 categories to choose from, and for each nomination in that category, we've made a ranking system, and then from that ranking system, we have devised a point system, right?
Yep.
And you've done some sort of equation to figure that out.
Yeah, it's not that complicated. So the number of points that we can get per category. So firstly, the categories are Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Score, and Best Cinematography. We chose those because, we believe they're the most important awards. And the number of points we can get per category is equal to the number of nominations in that category, which is interesting because all of these categories have 5 nominations, except for Best Picture, which has 8 nominations, which means that Best Picture is worth more than the rest of the categories, which makes sense because that is the most important award. And the number of points that you can get from it, so we've ranked it, is equal to the max number of points, and then you got to minus whatever. So let's say you pick the winner as number 2, then you got to take 2 points off, but then you have to add 1 on for compensation, otherwise it doesn't work out right. So essentially, if number 1 on your list wins, then you get the max number of points, i.e. 8 or 5, and then if number 2 wins instead, then you'll get 7 or 4, and then if number 3 wins, it'd be 6 or 3, and so on, right? And then the minimum number of points you can get per category is 1.
Righto. So what's the max amount of points then?
That's
like 48?
8 plus 7 times 5, 35, 43.
Oh, 40, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so kind of like IB all over again.
2 bonus points so we can make the total out of 45.
Mm.
Let's answer these 2 questions now.
And what are they?
All right, the first one. Which movie will win the most awards?
I think Minari, because it is just nominated for so many of these.
Okay, interesting. My guess is Trial.
Trial
of
the
Chicago
Chicago
7.
7. Yeah, okay. That's a good guess. Are we doing it just from our categories or like...
No, just in general. Which one? Because it's always a big thing who wins the most awards.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one?
And the other one, will Tenet win either of its nominations? And its 2 nominations are Best Visual Effects and Best Production Design.
See, I don't know. The Oscars always thwart me. Certain films win stuff that I would never have guessed that they would have won. And see, my hunch is that the visual effects in Tenet are amazing. I think they're going to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll win either.
Production design.
I personally don't believe so. I don't have faith in what are the visual effects? People going backwards and shit. And it's pretty unique and cool. But I don't know, it just doesn't clinch it in terms of the way Interstellar won back in 2014. That won because it truly was beautiful. But this one is like, Tenet isn't necessarily beautiful. It's just really cool. And I don't know if I haven't actually seen the other movies. I just think it's more likely that the other ones will win just because there's more of them. And I don't think Tenet would win anyway.
And I wonder if they even count as visual effects, them going backwards. I wonder if that's special effects.
Well, I think they all come under the same thing, don't they?
Nah, visual effects is CGI. Special effects is like tricks done in like practical stuff.
I think that's a technical definition that you might have learned, but I'm pretty sure for visual effects in the awards, it comes under all the same thing, right? Because that's why the Avengers and shit gets nominated for it. Mm. Yeah, because otherwise, Interstellar, how would that have won? Obviously, they didn't go to Saturn and film that.
What?
That's still CGI.
No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's my guess.
And so the way we're gonna do this anyway, we predict them today, right? Then we're gonna watch it live on Monday for us at 7 a.m. And
oh fuck.
Yeah, you keen?
No.
and then we got to guess each award when it comes out, and yeah, you know the deal. And with the use of certain substances will be you know, it's like shots.
Yes, it's just like that.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to move on to our picks?
I just wanted to talk about, actually, beforehand, the impact of COVID-19 on cinema, because this is a particularly important year for the Oscars. I mean, as we know, all these movies, the nominated films must have come from 2020 or very early 2021. And obviously, during that time, there was a significant impact on cinema in most places in the world for a significant period. During that period of time, the cinemas are closed, and that led to a loss of a lot of money. And as a consequence, we lost a lot of movies, I feel, that would have come out but didn't. And as a result of that, the nominations tend to be a lot of them are not very well known movies. And that's partly due to the fact that, well, advertising and all that has gone downhill because of the impact of the pandemic. But also the movies themselves have been directed by a lot of directors that haven't actually built a proper reputation yet. Now, I mean, we've just come off the back end of 2019, which is like a phenomenal year for film. I mean, the nominations that came out for that were just like all big blockbuster directors, right? Like you had Sam Mendes, Tarantino, Scorsese. The films there had blockbuster actors, and it was just such a great year for film. And now this year, it feels kind of underwhelming. Like you look at the Best Picture nominations, and none of them really, two of them have like significantly well-known directors, that being Mank, David Fincher, and Trial of the Chicago 7, Aaron Sorkin. Both are very well-known in the film industry, but the rest of them, not so much. And I think that's actually quite interesting because it's allowed kind of lesser-known people to come out in terms of in the Oscar world.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that is underwhelming because I feel like this is, in a utopian society, this is what the Oscars should look like, proper fucking films that like pierce your soul and shit like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, what's wrong with Tarantino and stuff like that, though? They make good films, and honestly, they are the best every year. Yeah,
no doubt. Like, Tarantino, I mean, if he made a film this year, I would count his film among these, but like what were the noms? What were the Best Picture noms like in the previous years? Like Shape of Water, shit like that. Like, that's an alright film. Doesn't hold a candle to like Trial of the Chicago 7, like, these films in particular. Like,
true, but the director was very well known.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. And I think this speaks to something that our culture celebrates. I mean, that we necessarily shouldn't be so hyped about. I think it's getting better now. People are kind of more aware, but the Oscars they're all about image, and
they are.
PR and yeah.
No, it is definitely a good thing.
We often joke about how it's not like the Oscars pick films based on artistic merit. It's whatever will make them look good, which I still think it will be like a huge deciding factor in picking Best Picture this year. But
that's true.
I think it swings both ways too. Like there are people on the committee who pick these that actually have a genuine interest in art and what the power of art and shit like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and just hopeful. For context, the number of films released last year was 58% lower than the year before. It's almost 60%. That's crazy. It's not been that low ever in this century. Last year was the lowest of the low this whole century since 2000. You know,
Wow.
so it is a big deal. Like the industry tanked it hard, and also this is actually an interesting fact. Last year, the highest grossing film for the first time ever was not an American film. That's ever. Every year, consistently, the highest grossing film is always American. And last year it wasn't. It was a Chinese historical war film called The 800, which is about the Japanese invasion of Shanghai. And that just happened to win, I guess. And that's because America tanked it particularly hard from the pandemic, while China got over it reasonably quickly.
It's because the Chinese hate the Japanese so much that they'll go see a movie about us.
About us. About you and I, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one movie that I'm disappointed that didn't come out last year, which I believe would definitely be nominated for probably Best Picture, is The French Dispatch. It's a Wes Anderson film, and it's to be announced now when it's coming out sometime this year or next year. But I mean, Wes Anderson films are always bloody good, and I'm sad that didn't come out last year to make it into these nominations.
You know what's funny is that Sound of Metal came out in 2019.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I wasn't really sure about that too, but I think, I don't know, it depends
It probably
where it's
premiered at a
released, right?
festival or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't really understand the dates and how they work. Like Uncut Gems technically should have been in these nominations, I think, but fucking isn't. Come on. That's actually a good point. That should have been in these nominations, not even in there anywhere. That's so disappointing.
Uncut Gems came out at the beginning of 2019,
2020.
didn't it?
No, 2020.
No way. It came out in 2019.
Well, it came out right at the end.
Oh, okay.
December
Okay.
13. All right, well, either way, it wasn't nominated in either Oscars, so I'm pretty pissed off about that. Anyway, but that's
Yeah.
a recurring point of mine.
Howie.
All right, should we move on to our predictions?
All right. Should we go like from the bottom up? So starting with Best Cinematography.
Yep.
Okay. All right. The nominations for Best Cinematography are Sean Bobbitt for Judas and the Black Messiah, Eric Messerschmidt for Mank, Darius Wolski for News of the World, Joshua James Richards for Nomadland, and Pheidon Michael for Trial of the Chicago 7. And my order for that list is, and I've just said the movie name because I was trying to type of that name. Number 1, Mank. Number 2, Nomadland. Number 3, Judas. Number 4, Trial of the Chicago 7. Number 5, News of the World.
Okay. And why?
I don't know. I thought Judas and the Black Messiah was like kind of, the subject matter was more gripping than, you know, the visuals. I thought Trial of the Chicago 7, well, it was interesting that, you know, it all mainly took place in that one courtroom, and there were like a lot of interesting framing and composition and shit like that. I thought, you know, David Fincher's just a master of this shit, like of directing and like filmmaking in general. And you know, some of the shots in Mank were like really evoked that nostalgic, like, you know, 1940s era cinema. So that's why, and you know, the Oscars love that old timey shit. So that's why I think Mank will win.
Okay. So right, so that's pretty much the same as mine, except one difference. So I went number 1 Mank, number 2 Nomadland. Wait, is that what you had? Number 3 News of the World, number 4 Judas and the Black Messiah, number 5 The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little. I haven't seen News of the World. That's the only one I haven't seen out of that. Actually, no, that's a lie. I haven't seen Mank either. But Mank's, yeah, like you said, Mank is an easy prediction. I mean, it's fucking black and white. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I look at cinematography, like the winners over the past, and you know, I haven't looked at a lot of them, but say the winner last year, right, which was 1917, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And you know, the movies that tend to win tend to have something that uniquely makes the cinematography, like, you know, very special in a way. So 1917 was an obvious pick because it was all in one shot. And you know, it's obvious, like people who throw around the word cinematography be like, oh, the cinematography in that film's good. And another example I think of is Blade Runner 2049. Like that again has some obvious.
Funny. Both Roger Deakins.
Yeah, both. He's only 2 wins too. After he'd been trying to win for like years. And Blade Runner 2049 again is like big grandeur. You're depicting these whole worlds, you know, and again, the cinematography in it is beautiful, and a large part of that is due to the subject matter. But it's obvious, you know, when you look at it and you're like, wow, the cinematography in this movie is cool. But the problem with like these films like Judas and the Black Messiah and The Trial of the Chicago 7 is that neither of those to me really evoked anything about cinematography. Maybe for someone a little bit more nuanced than me, because I'm not well studied in film, it will be more obvious as to what techniques they use that makes it better. But The Trial of the Chicago 7, I love the film, but it evoked those feelings because of the subject matter itself as opposed to the way it was filmed. And that's why I think Mank will win, because as simple as this sounds, it's in black and white, which automatically kind of elevates it in terms of simplicity. Simply kind of deciding how good is cinematography, it elevates it quite a lot, just simply because it's different, right? And then Nomadland, I believe, is actually, I truly believe that is a beautiful film. I watched it last night and I thought it was phenomenal. Like, the subject matter was interesting, not something I'd known much about, but the cinematography in it was great.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And News of the World, I put that third because Darius is a very well-known cinematographer, probably the most well-known out of the 5 nominated this year. He did Pirates of the Caribbean, Alice in Wonderland, Prometheus, The Martian, Sicario, and he's never won an Oscar. So I reckon he's got a higher chance just because he hasn't won yet.
For some reason, I just have a repulsion to Tom Hanks in anything now. If I see Tom Hanks in a film, I probably won't watch it.
Tom, why?
Like, yeah, that's a good question. Like, I don't... he's just...
I kind of know what you mean. I completely get that.
I think ever since I watched Cloud Atlas, he's left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, he's not my favourite either.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, let's move on. Best Original Score. The nominations are The Five Bloods with Terence Blanchard, Mank, Trent Reznor, Minari, Emile Mosseri, News of the World, James Newton Howard, and Soul, Trent Reznor again.
Yeah.
All right. Busy man. So my pick was number 1, Soul, number 2, Mank, number 3, The Five Bloods, number 4, News of the World, number 5, Minari.
Right. Interesting.
Yep.
Why?
I haven't seen Soul, but I've heard people talk so much praise about this film that I just have to assume that it's great, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's in the title of the film. It's about music, so how can you not put 110% effort into making that special?
Yeah.
And it's it's Pixar. Like, I don't have to say anything about Pixar. Like, they're fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want my ordering?
Yeah.
So I'm the same as you. Number 1, Soul. Number 2, Minari. Number 3, The Five Bloods. Number 4, News of the World. And number 5, Mank. Now, I believe, you're right with Soul. Soul won the Golden Globe as well for the best original score. And it's hard. It's not like a direct correlation between Golden Globes and the Oscars, but usually, it's a good rule of thumb maybe that it could be a possible winner, and it won. The problem with The Five Bloods, News of the World, and Mank is that the scores, the soundtracks, I actually listen to them, and they're really boring in the sense that they're boring unless you've watched the movie and you invested significant emotion in the movie that you can connect yourself to the music, or that's pretty much it, really. But in general, really, when you listen to it, it just sounds like normal, like kind of orchestral music that isn't uniquely identifiable to those 3 movies in any way. And the reason
I picked Mank as number 2 is because I thought, again, the score was reminiscent of those old-timey, like, 1940s films.
Okay,
which,
I didn't listen to the full soundtrack for that, but I mean, that's fair enough, yeah. But I'll put Mank at the bottom because it had the least number of listens on Spotify. Nah, I know that's not... by that point, I was like, well, these 3 sound the same. How am I going to rank these 3? And I was like, well, okay, let's go by popular vote. And The Five Bloods had the most listens, followed by News of the World and Mank. And I put Minari second because I honestly think that the soundtrack was actually more interesting. It had more uniqueness to it. And then Soul at the top because it is the most unique out of them. Plus it won the Golden Globe. And best original score, in my opinion, should be won because it's unique. Not because it fits the movie well. Or it does fit the movie well, but it also uses these unique kind of characteristics of music in a way. Which is why I think Joker was absolutely the winner last year, because it had a very unique soundtrack. The way that the orchestra was used and a lot of the timpanis and the drums in the orchestra and stuff like that was quite unique, something I'd never heard before, and that's why I think it deserved the Oscar. And same again this year. I feel like Soul had a jazzy soundtrack. It was different, not just a unique generic orchestra. Therefore, I think it deserves to win.
Did you watch The Five Bloods?
No. Is it good?
No, I didn't either.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, I should probably watch like all of these or some shit, but then I just never got around to it. So I pretty much only watched most of the Best Picture ones.
Is Chadwick Boseman is nominated for that one, right? Posthumously.
No, that's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's that one. Next one, Best Supporting Actress.
All right. The nominations for Best Supporting Actress are Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film. Should I read the whole title?
Yeah.
Delivery of Prodigious Bribe?
Oh, no, not that whole title. Prodigious Bribe
Wait.
to American Rage. Oh, I thought you just meant Borat's subsequent movie film.
Wait, I think that's meant to be a pun because it's like bribe as in bride. The bride is the bribe. That's funny.
Right.
I didn't notice that. Delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. Fuck, I love Borat. Alright, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Coleman for The Father, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Yoo Jong-yoon for Minari.
Yoo
Jong. Sorry. My order for this is number 1, Olivia Coleman, number 2, Glenn Close, number 3, Amanda Seyfried, number 4, Yoo Jong-yoon, number 5, Maria Bakalova.
Why?
Yeah, I've only seen Mank and The Father out of, these noms.
Yep.
But yeah, Olivia Coleman was just so good in The Father. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like the Oscars like British actresses.
Okay, interesting.
And I don't know, she just crushed it. And, like Amanda Seyfried, yeah, she was good in Mank. She wasn't, she didn't knock my hair back or anything. And the other ones I just guessed.
Okay, my ordering is quite different. Number 1, I've got Yoon Yoo-jung. Number 2, Maria Bakalova. Number 3, Glenn Close. Number 4, Olivia Coleman. And number 5, Amanda Seyfried.
Interesting.
A bit of contention there. And
Ooh.
You're right with Olivia Coleman. She was very good in The Father, but I just don't think she had enough. I don't know. The movie wasn't really focused on her enough for me to believe that she would win it. I know it's supporting actress, but I just don't feel it with her. I just don't feel like she would have won just because I wasn't particularly moved by her acting. I was certainly moved by Anthony Hopkins' acting. His was good, but not hers.
Really? I thought it was so impressive because, yeah, you're right. Like, it wasn't particularly, striking, but it was really subtle, like I thought. There was like so much nuance in her performance that I
Sure.
on reflection,
I
really appreciate.
Yeah, true. Amanda Seyfried to put last because I feel like she's dug herself a hole like Kristen Stewart, where she's a good actress, admittedly, but she's in a lot of shit stuff. And Kristen Stewart hasn't won any Oscars. Well, I don't think she has. I don't think she's even been nominated. And even though she's a very good actress, people kind of look at it like, oh, she did Twilight, she's so bad. And I feel like she's in the same boat there. I think she just won't win because of that. I feel like she was only nominated because there was just a lack of movies this year.
What? Who? Kristen Stewart?
No, Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Glenn Close, she has too many awards. She's like fucking Frances McDormand when it comes to awards.
Yeah,
she's got her
that's
own
exactly
wiki
why I
page.
picked her.
Right, okay. I think, mine is political. I thought, well, no, let's give the Best Supporting Actress to The Foreigners. And after last year's Parasite and that, which none of the actors won anything, nor were they nominated, I feel like number 1 will be the Korean actress, just because she was nominated. Yeah.
That's a good pick, actually. Damn,
Yeah.
I'm kind of regretting my choice.
And then the second one is a Bulgarian actress too. She's not Western at all. Sorry, not Western, but not English speaking naturally.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that one's contentious. That's yeah. All right, Best Supporting Actor.
Best Supporting Actor in a Supporting Role. We've got Sacha Baron Cohen for Trial of the Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Paul Raci for Sound of Metal, Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah. And my picks are number 1, Lakeith Stanfield, number 2, Daniel Kaluuya,
Yep.
number 3, Sacha Baron Cohen, number 4, Leslie Odom, number 5, Paul Raci. Man, this was tough because the first 3, Lakeith, Daniel, and Sasha, they're just so good. They all crushed it.
Yeah.
It's funny that Lakeith and Daniel Kaluuya were both nominated for supporting actor in Judas and the Black Messiah because they're both equally main characters.
Yeah, maybe because they both share 50-50 that they end up becoming supporting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
But then it's sort of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was Brad Pitt was supporting, but then DiCaprio was Best Actor nominated. And I swear they're 50-50 too, honestly.
Yeah. But I mean, this one is just, there's almost no logic to this one. I really love Judas and the Black Messiah. I like Daniel Kaluuya. Daniel Kaluuya was amazing, but Lakeith Stanfield is possibly like one of my favorite actors at the moment.
Right. Okay.
He's in so much shit that I love.
So that's why you picked him first. More of a personal
Yeah.
reason. Yep.
Yeah. There was, yeah. And then Sacha Baron Cohen, man, like I watched this Vanity Fair video where he's with Aaron Sorkin and he sort of breaks down one of the scenes from Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah.
He talks about his character and like how unique of a person that he was, and
Yep.
how Sacha emulated him.
Yep.
Got all his mannerisms, got his accent right, and man, I was just so impressed. So yeah, I think Sacha might win this one, but yeah, that's my order.
Okay. Well, okay. My ordering is number 1, Daniel Kaluuya. Number 2, Leslie Odom Jr. Number 3, Lakeith Stanfield. Number 4, Paul Raci. Number 5, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Just quickly, is Paul Raci the deaf dude in Sound of Metal?
Yeah, the deaf caretaker
Like the
guy.
camp? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the camp leader. Now, I hands down watching these films, the only one I haven't seen is the one Leslie Odom Jr. is in.
Same.
But Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah, he was really good. Like, I put him, yeah, in just terms of his performance, I think he was better than Lakeith Stanfield. He has won an Oscar before, though, for Get Out. So it's a little bit sketchy as to whether he'll win again. I mean, but he might. I mean, he definitely ticks the political box, which is why I also put him number 1. But I personally believe, based on his performance alone, that he's number 1. I put Leslie and Lakeith there because of political reasons. Is that how I should say it? Because unfortunately, the Oscars are political, right? And I believe that they have an upper hand because of that. Now, it sounds bad, but it's honestly the truth. I mean, you know, we both agree on that. I think that the Oscars, a lot of it is for show, for political reasons too. And that's why I put Paul Raci and Sacha Baron Cohen at the bottom. I didn't really know which one to pick first between the two of those, but Paul Raci, I really kind of adored his character in Sound of Metal. It was a very pleasant character. And Sacha Baron Cohen, he is a very reputable actor and very well-known person, but he's just acting something that I've seen before in a way, and it was more of a personal reason why I picked Paul Raci. I thought it was a very nice character, and The Sound of Metal was a very pleasant movie to me.
All right.
Best actress.
Best actress in a leading role. The nominations are Viola Davis in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day in The United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand in Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman.
Okay.
And so my picks are number 1, Frances McDormand, number 2, Vanessa Kirby, number 3, Viola Davis, number 4, Andra Day, number 5, Carey Mulligan.
All right. Why?
Because we were talking the other day how Frances McDormand has so many awards under her belt, and I feel like that's not the kind of thing that stops, you know, like, just because you have a lot of awards, I feel like the Academy's not going to be like, oh no, we can't give her, she has too many. I feel like
she's only won Best Actress twice, though.
Okay, well, still, that's like 2 Best Actresses. That's, you know, what a record. Like, and
True.
I think,
yeah,
I don't know. I personally think that would make her more inclined to win another.
Yeah, but it's too soon. She won it for 3 billboards, and I feel like there needs to be a good space in between them. So she won the first one for Fargo, which was like yonks ago, and then she won it for 3 billboards, which was like almost 20 years later, right? And I feel like we need a significant amount of time before that kind of burns off, and then we give her the award again.
I forgot she was in Fargo. My God.
Yeah, that's what she won it for.
She's so young in that. Dude.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of these others. I put Carey Mulligan at the bottom just because I feel like she was pretty. It wasn't like terrible. In fact, it wasn't even bad. It just like the most compelling thing about Promising Young Woman was, you know, the subject matter, and then Carey Mulligan just did a job, and it didn't like blow my hair back or anything.
I disagree. I feel like Carey Mulligan was the right. You're right to some degree, I guess, but she was the perfect actress for the movie, where she's usually portrayed in the past as like a not so good looking actress. Like, she's definitely good looking, don't get me wrong, but I'm not, but you know, like there's Margot Robbie, you know, like is a typical example of an actress that's used for her looks, right? And you know, like for example in The Wolf of Wall Street or in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, she's simply there because she is absolutely stunning. Carey Mulligan, not so much. And that's why I think she worked really well in this film, because it needed someone that wasn't overly good looking, overly stunning like Margot Robbie. And I know this doesn't actually pertain to her acting skills at all, but at least this part she was just the perfect choice, I think, for that movie.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's not speaking to her acting ability though. That's just
I thought
her
acting was
looks.
great in it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think the way she acted it, like, because she kind of acted in a way where she was acknowledging the fact that she wasn't, I guess, I don't want to make this sound really bad, but like, obvious that, like what I said before, I stand by it, and a lot of people do actually stand by it too, where Carey Mulligan was a perfect role because she isn't this overly kind of sought after actress in Hollywood, and she, the way she acts acknowledges that too in the film. She doesn't act in a way where she thinks she's super good looking. She's just acting in a way that acknowledges that fact, but she still does what she does in the movie anyway.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Wait. Sorry, did you say your...
No, I haven't actually said mine yet.
Okay.
All right, so number 1, Andra Day. Number 2, Viola Davis. Number 3, Carey Mulligan. Number 4, Vanessa Kirby. And number 5, Frances McDormand.
Okay.
Now, I put Frances McDormand at the bottom because I wasn't actually particularly moved by her acting in Nomadland. Her acting in Three Billboards was so good. Yeah, well, her in Three Billboards is phenomenal. Like, I love that film. But this Nomadland film, her acting was good in a way that she was a perfect choice for it. I mean, the film is about her being homeless, really, in a way, and she's living around in a van. And there's scenes where she's like shitting in like a bucket in her own van and stuff. And Frances McDormand is a perfect choice for that kind of acting. Like, she's got that reputation to do that kind of thing without kind of any any negative opinions of her acting in a way, or of her character. And she just has the right age for that kind of thing as well. But honestly, I didn't think she just wasn't that interesting in this movie, really. I feel like really the better choices were Andra Day and Viola Davis, again for political reasons. Unfortunately, I am basing a lot of my opinions on that. This Best Actress was the one with the least reasoning. I just kind of put it in there based on their political reasoning. Carey Mulligan, because again, political. That movie is very politically motivated. And then I didn't even know what Vanessa Kirby was in, so that was just number 4.
Yeah, right. Solid.
Yeah. All right. Best Actor.
Best Actor in a Leading Role. You've got Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Steve Ewan for Minari. Now, my order is exactly how it's ordered here.
All right, I'll say mine first. So number 1, Chadwick Boseman. Number 2, Stephen Ewan. Number 3, Riz Ahmed. Number 4, Anthony Hopkins. Number 5, Gary Oldman.
Okay, so you've picked the... Wait, what was number 1?
Chadwick Boseman.
Okay, so you think they'll try and go for the posthumous award as a show of reverence?
Not necessarily. I did have a look at posthumous nominations versus winners, and there's actually not a correlation. There's not a bias towards the posthumous nominations, right? It seems pretty even. Like, more than 50% of posthumous nominations didn't win. But Chadwick Boseman won the Golden Globes Best Actor. And so did Andra Day for Best Actress, actually. And I actually picked those two because the Golden Globes and the Oscars are actually pretty similar when it comes to Best Actor and Actress. They usually seem to be the same one. So I picked it based on that. And then Stephen Ewan, again, political reasons. He's an Asian actor. You don't get many Asian nominations nor winners. And Parasite didn't get any nominations last year, so it would make sense that this Korean film that's been nominated wins the thing for Best Actor.
Mm-hmm. See, I think I'm a bit more cynical than you. I think while it does make sense to, pick not the old white man for political reasons, I think they'll do it anyway, just because...
But you picked... Wait, so yours was Chadwick Boseman
in this particular category, I didn't apply that philosophy. I think...
Yeah.
I think I picked Riz Ahmed for 1 because, again, I think for political reasons, because I think he fits like a lot of boxes. It's like a kind of it's a kind of an inoffensive film and an inoffensive role. He's just like some dude dealing with like loss and like grieving. And I feel like that's like a kind of universally safe pick.
Yeah. Righto, fair enough. Yeah,
he just kind of did his job and showed a range of emotion and shit like that.
He was very good, admittedly. I don't know. It wasn't phenomenal. Like I mean, I haven't seen Chadwick Boseman or Stephen Ewan in their movies, but Riz Ahmed to me wasn't phenomenal like Joaquin Phoenix was last year. Yeah,
but that's exactly why I think he will win, just because he was like a good all rounder.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I understand your old white man opinion, but I don't know. I feel like Anthony Hopkins won't win because again, he's won a lot of awards, and he's only won Best Actor once, and that was for Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, and that was years ago. So it is very viable that he could win again. But I'm just not feeling it with this film. It's not... Sure, the movie's centered on him, and he did a very good performance, but I just feel like the movie itself lacks in a way that it won't win many awards, in my opinion.
What are we talking about?
The Father.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then Gary Oldman, he won Best Actor like 3 years ago, so I don't think he'll win.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think Gary Oldman will win.
No. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, all right.
Best Director. Read it backwards. Backwards order.
All right. So for Best Director, we've got Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, David Fincher for Mank, and Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round.
Okay. What are your nominations in reverse order, Pat?
In reverse order, I've got number 5, David Fincher, number 4, Lee Isaac Chung, number 3, Thomas Vinterberg, number 2, Emerald Fennell, number 1, Chloe Zhao. And the reason I've picked this order is because, again, for political reasons, I think it would behoove the Oscars to nominate a Best Director who is a woman, because I don't think... Has that happened before?
Wait, sorry, was Emerald Fennell number 2?
Number 2.
Yep, okay. Best Director won by a woman has happened once before. That was Catherine Bigelow for Hurt Locker back in 2008, I think.
Yeah, see, once. Once
yeah.
in the entirety of the Oscars has a woman won Best Director. And, you know, considering the political climate and the fever pitch of outrage that, you know, is going on right now, I think they need to.
I agree. Yeah, I feel like Best Director out of all the awards is the most political one, because you specifically pick a specific person. You specifically pick a person for this, and director is kind of the most... I mean, obviously Best Actor and Actress are also very important too, but director is kind of like... It kind of represents to me more... If you base this one on a political thing more, it means more to viewers of the Oscars than picking the Best Actor and Actress based on political reasons, for some reason. Yeah, so it's...
because it's like, director is more about, like, artistic talent, whereas, like, actor and actress and shit like that is, like, more on... Not that, you know, sort of star power and shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you my directors, my ordering. So number 5, I've got Lee Isaac Chung for Minari. Number 4, Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round. Number 3, David Fincher for Mank. Number 2, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. And Emerald Fennell as number 1 for Promising Young Woman. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm on the same basis as you. I mean, you've obviously just swapped Chloe Zhao and Emerald Fennell around. I just went with my gut instinct and went with the film I liked more. Promising Young Woman is... Yeah, I mean, Nomadland, it was good, but it wasn't great. But I love Promising Young Woman, to me anyway. And that's why I put those two there. David Fincher, he hasn't won Best Director at all yet. And he is obviously the most reputable director in this list. And at some point before his career ends, I feel like he needs to win Best Director. It's sort of like DiCaprio with the Best Actor. Everyone before The Revenant was like, oh, you know, he's got to win. And then he did win. And I feel like David Fincher is in the same boat here. The problem is I haven't actually seen Mank, so I don't know how good the film is and whether it stands up to being winning Best Director or not. But I feel like just based on that alone, I put him as number 3. And then Thomas Vinterberg I put 4 because he's a foreign director too from Denmark. And the number 5 I put the Korean director as last, simply because a Korean director already won last year. And I feel like it'd be very strange if 2 Korean directors won 2 years in a row. It seems very unlikely to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, should we move on?
Yep, the last one, the big one. This one worth 8 points.
Best Picture. So, for Best Picture, we've got 8... Wait, 8? Yeah, 8 nominations. We've got The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. So, my pick is...
Wait, let me guess. Let me guess.
Yeah.
All right, number 8 for you.
Yep.
Nomadland.
No.
All right, what is it?
Nomadland is number 7.
All right. Oh, that's pretty close.
Yeah?
What's number 8?
All right, Sound of Metal.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Number 7, Nomadland.
Yep.
Number 6, Minari.
Yep.
Number 5, Judas and the Black Messiah. Number 4, The Father. Number 3, Promising Young... Yeah?
No, sorry, keep going. Yeah.
Number 3, Promising Young Woman. Number 2, Mank. Number 1, Trial of the Chicago 7.
All right. Mank is number 2?
Yep.
and The Father is number 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've taken a very calculated approach to this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Excel spreadsheet or something, or
Yeah, mate. I did crunch the numbers, put it into some AI, and it printed this out. Trial of the Chicago 7, I think. I mean, I think personally it's my favorite movie out of these.
fair enough.
So there was a bit of bias here, but I feel like this is a movie that kind of covered a lot of bases. It was, the heart of this movie is political in nature. It's weird, like it's a super left-leaning movie, and I don't know how well that jives with the outlook of the people who run the Oscars, but like the left in what that meant in when this event took place is like pretty commonplace now. It's just like it's more kind of like a based centrist view, I feel.
Yeah.
So it's not,
that's a good point actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too over the top, I suppose.
Yeah. So, and then like it has issues of like race, issues of sex, issues of like kind of what the subject matter of this movie is about, like revolution and shit like that, which is what we've been seeing a lot of in contemporary world events. And I don't know, I just felt like it was a safe pick for number 1. And then I've kind of like interspersed movies for political reasons. I think again my cynical part of the brain taking over. I've picked Mank as number 2 just because it's like this nostalgia for cinema, and that usually goes pretty well with the Oscars in the past.
Yep.
And then number 3, Promising Young Woman, because it's super feminist movie. I think that would it would behoove the Oscars to pick that. And then The Father, just like a kind of
interesting
all-around safe film.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Number 5, Judas and the Black Messiah. Like I think this is my second favorite film.
Yep.
Out of this list, but I've just put it low here just because again I'm pretty cynical. I don't think they pick this movie. Number 6, Minari, I haven't seen it. Number 7, Nomadland, haven't seen it. Number 8, Sound of Metal, I have seen it. As I'm on the same page as you, I think it's an alright film. Didn't blow my hair back or anything.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Sound of Metal, I thought was an amazing film. I mean, I'd never watched a film before where I truly felt kind of empathized with the deaf and understood what it means to be deaf. I don't think there's many films that have done that before, at least not ones that are very well nominated in the Oscars. And I feel like it nailed that, really. I thought it was a great film. I mean, I was paranoid about like listening to music too loud for like weeks after watching that film. And with good reason too. That's actually a significant concern that everyone should kind of be aware of. But yeah, I agree with you there. I'll put number 8 as Sound of Metal too.
Yeah. No, I really liked the film. Like all of these films are, phenomenal. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I especially love the ending of Sound of Metal. I thought that, you know what I'm talking about. That last shot.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it gave me chills. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, number 8, Sound of Metal. Guess my number 7?
Nomadland.
No, The Father. Number 6, Minari. Yeah. Number 5, Nomadland. Number 4, Judas and the Black Messiah. Do you want to guess my top 3? Which
I'm gonna guess number 3, Mank. Number 2, Trial of the Chicago 7. Number 1, Promising Young Woman.
Nailed it. Yep.
Hey.
That doesn't get your point. Yeah. So I agree with you in the Sound of Metal, and you put Nomadland as 7. Now I put Nomadland as 5 because it's unique in terms. It's got it's a foreign director, right? Which I know there's a best director category for that, but usually these two categories are usually very well interlaced, right? And also that's a bonus question that I kind of wanted to propose, was that will the best director and best picture be for the same film? Now I think we should do that because we're both in disagreements with each other, because I believe that Promising Young Woman will win the best picture and it will also win best director, but you don't think that they're going to be the same, are they? Because they can't be. Aaron Sorkin wasn't even nominated for Best Director.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but anyway, The Father, it was a really good movie. I just it lacks that uniqueness to make it Best Picture. Minari, it's not going to win because of Parasite last year. It's just unlikely. And Judas and the Black Messiah, I feel like it's got a pretty good chance just because of the political reasons. I mean, it's all about the Black Panther Party, and for obvious reasons, that's politically relevant, especially after last year and the Black Lives Matter ordeal in America. And Mank, Best Picture, like I said before, David Fincher needs to win Best Picture at some point before the end of his career, so I put him as number 3. And then when it came to the top two, Trial of the Chicago 7, Promising Young Woman, both of these films were my favorite films of, last year. And I just went with my gut instinct and went with the one that I liked more. And I actually like Promising Young Woman more because honestly, that movie blew my hair back isn't even the right expression. Trial of the Chicago 7 blew my hair back. Promising Young Woman made me feel really fucked. And that's something I've never felt before from watching a movie. At least the unique feeling that I got from this film wasn't something I felt before. Trial of the Chicago 7, I love the film, but it's not something that I've uniquely not felt before. I felt a similar kind of emotion during American History X or Three Billboards. This idea about, like you said, like minority groups and the protesting in Trial of Chicago 7 seems relevant, especially since last year. And also it has a lot of historical context too. And it actually signifies a very important change, I think, in kind of America and education system there, that, we acknowledging the fact that the Vietnam War was a failure for the Americans, which a lot of old stodgers are still holding on to the belief that that wasn't the case. And the Trial of Chicago 7 being about the protesting against the conscription of soldiers into the Vietnam War is uniquely about that. And I think that's something that's quite interesting. But Promising Young Woman is just, I haven't seen a film like this, like something that makes you feel really uncomfortable for being a male. It is certainly a political issue that needs to be addressed. Overall, I think the film represents this whole idea of misogyny in society, which is still obviously a big issue and hopefully getting better over the next couple of generations. But I feel like this movie just nails that. It's not just about like the rape of females, especially for people our age, in that kind of age bracket, but it's more in general about misogyny. And I think that ticks a political box really well. And I also love the film. It's my favorite film of last year, and therefore I put that as number one.
Yeah, no, I think Promising Young Woman is my third favorite film.
Yep.
I didn't pick it for number one just because, like, I feel, again, yeah, same as you, like, it made me deeply uncomfortable. I don't think any of these films elicited an emotional reaction as strong as Promising Young Woman did.
Yep.
Which, like, there's something to say about maybe that's what a film should do rather than, like, tickle your intellect. But
yeah,
that's kind of what Chicago 7 did for me. I feel like it was more complex in its, like, ideas.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Whereas Promising Young Woman was more of a mood, and, like, who's to say, like, what's more appropriate for, like, a film with capital F, but, like,
yeah, well, I mean, it's like, we would have, like, last year, like, 1917 versus Parasite, right? Like, 1917 definitely fits the more emotional category versus Parasite. But Parasite is definitely also quite intellectual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I based it on.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think probably one of those two will win, which means that we're only 1 point at a loss then between the two of us. Like, it'll be 1 point difference. Well, actually, no, sorry. Right. You put it as number 3, so it might be a 2 point difference. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, I have faith. I honestly think it'll win.
I don't feel very good about my picks after hearing yours and your reasoning.
I still feel alright about mine, so
I'm just going to throw that out. I'm a bit scared, honestly.
Which one are you most worried about?
Best actress, best supporting actress, best director, best actor. So I'm worried about a lot.
So fucking all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's only best picture I'm pretty confident of because I put a lot of thought into that. But
yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah. Wait, which one won the Golden Globe? Oh, did I write that down? No, I didn't. I didn't base my guesses off the Golden Globe, which was actually quite interesting because I try to use that as a basis, really. But anyway, yeah, well, let's see how we go on Monday morning. See, this is exciting. Right. We're fucking, like, betting some serious cash here. Like, it's a few $100 worth of stuff. Like, it's no fucking small deal. We're invested, man. We're going to be watching this shit, and you're going to be pissed off when you find out that Trial of Chicago 7 won't be number 1 for Best Picture. You'll be visibly pissed off. No. Well, you probably will fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. That's it. We're done.
All right, sweet.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. Any last comments?
I think it's an interesting year. Interesting year of film.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like all the picks this year.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we did this because honestly, I don't think I would have watched many of these movies without doing so. A lot of them don't, like, it's not like, oh, Tarantino, you got to watch the next film, or Scorsese or whatever. It's kind of like, what the fuck is Nomadland? And doing this forced me to watch it, which sounds bad, but it's the truth. And now that I watched it, I'm glad I did, because they were all very good films.
Yeah, same. I feel a lot more cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that the point of this podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening. Where can people find us, Mitchie?
People can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or Stitcher. We have a website, amttm.com, where you can find our Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any questions, queries, or doubtful points, please send them through to mail@amttm.com.
Cool. And so after the Oscars get announced, after the event, we're gonna upload We're gonna upload something. We're gonna announce who won.
Yeah.
And
But
then-
I think we've already got our next film decided, don't we?
Yeah. So next time, it's been a year since we started this podcast, Mitchie. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Well, not yet, but
Yeah.
sure.
It actually feels like a lot longer than a year. But anyway, yeah, we're going to release a retrospective where we just talk about some of the films that we've already talked about. So I've got like a bunch of shit written down of points that I would like to have said that I didn't get a chance to, or just like kind of, retake some of my thoughts on the film. Because I feel like since we started this, we've gotten a lot better at articulating our thoughts. So,
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Thanks for listening. Join us next time for that.
Cool.
See you later.
Bye.